Welcome to today's video, guys. This is exactly where we left off. Engine has freshly been dropped into the bay and we are now going to start doing things up. So the first thing on the agenda is we need to send her up to the moon. We got a lot of work cut out for us today, but the main thing is we want to get as many things buttoned up as we can. Even get some more things obviously in the engine bay and stuff. Don't worry about these bolts too. They're all getting replaced with black zinc coated bolts. So much to get done. So excited. The first thing we're going to be working on is reconnecting the power plant frame and getting everything in so that the transmission is essentially all bolted in and not like putting all its weight on the front engine mounts. We also need to put bolts on those and put the tail shaft back in and just get everything buttoned up under here that we can. We may also start looking at getting some of the new parts that are in boxes up there and stuff in here, but man, it looks so good and it's so clean, guys. Oh, it looks so good. Hopefully no front or rear seals break or anything, because that would suck because this thing's so clean. I don't want to get dirty. I want to put accessory belts on. Oh, but wait, the power steering pump's missing too. We found the power steering pump actually. And I had to call Chris to figure out what was going on because I was actually concerned if someone stole it. But here is my power steering pump. Chris really badly wanted power steering for the compound. And he really needed this line that comes off the rack right here. So yeah, they borrowed that. And I didn't get a message because my phone was broken. So yeah, that's why I didn't know. And I literally thought someone may have stolen it. It freaked me out. Anyways, let's get stuff in here. And first thing we want to do actually before we start working on anything in the engine bay is we're going to cover everything up so it doesn't get scratched. But yeah, this is looking so good. SAMMIT here from the future to remind you guys, don't miss out on winning the Miata. Head to sammit.net/shop, grab as much as you can. Every 500 yen spent on the merch store is one entry. That's about $4.20 US. Don't sleep on it. There are literally only like 3 days left. Entries end. No more entries from the 30th of April. 3 days, guys. Don't miss out. sammit.net/shop. Now back to the future. Wait, what? You guys know how much I like cleanliness, so we took out the power plant frame. Gonna get this all cleaned up. All of this is just, yeah, it's bad. Like, here, hang on. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're cleaning that. Getting my workout for today. This is how you're meant to pump. Well, actually, no. If you're the way you're meant to pump this is you buy one of those transmission oil pumps off Amazon, which Chris has ordered. It just hasn't arrived yet. But yeah, this is how you pump if you don't have one of those electric pumps, because that saves your life. They literally do. I've never done this, you know that? I've always just had the electric pumps, except like at my workshop in Australia, we have the proper barrel ones where you actually just go like this, and then like, you know, maybe like 5-10 strokes, it's full. Wow. Yeah, like the big ones on the barrels. This is working well. Just push it against the gearbox and just pump, get it down.
Yep.
We're empty.
We are one bottle down.
One bottle down. We still got some more to go. Oh, there's still some left in here. So I'm getting the alternator and water pump belt on right now. We got the power plant frame and everything bolted in, as you can see, and it looks nice, pretty new. Everything in there is looking great. We haven't connected up the tail shaft, the drive shaft, because I'm waiting for a brand new seal for the rear of the transmission. No one has a listing for them at AutoZone, Advanced, or even like Pet Boys. But I found, what was the place called?
Treasure Coast Miata.
Yeah, Treasure Coast Miata has them in stock. So I'm gonna actually go pick that up first thing tomorrow morning. They're open from 8, so I'll probably be like awake at like 8:30, get there by 9:30, come back to the workshop, be here by 10. It'll be good. They're only like 30-40 minutes away too, so nice and close. But that's why I haven't got the tail shaft in and the drive shaft in. So I want to get that new seal in there because that was leaking and it was like brittle and cracked. Otherwise, I'm going to start working on plugging things in on the engine loom and getting all the wiring sorted out so that this thing can crank. Now, when I say crank, not going to fire it up. I want to just fill it with engine oil and get some oil pressure built up.
Get it turned over.
Yeah, get it turned over, get it cranking without the cam angle sensor plugged in so we can try and get some oil through the system. So very similar trick we do on the SR20 and the RBs on Nissans. Whenever if they've been sitting a very, very long time, you just unplug the cam angle sensor and just crank. And what happens is on the dash, the oil pressure light disappears. because it's built up enough oil pressure. And then that's when you know it's safe to actually start the engine and put it back on. So anyways, gonna be doing something similar to that. I've tightened this way too much now because I've been talking so much. But this car's coming together. I'm sure you can see from just under it just how clean and how much in detail we're going with it to make sure that this thing's gonna be a really good car. I probably wouldn't stress so much about all of this stuff if it was my own car. Like a lot of people like, Sam, why are you building such a nice car? And honestly, it's just my way of trying to give back to you guys. I want to make sure I give you, whoever wins this, the best, most epic car ever. So trying really hard, and yeah, that's that belt on now. Tighten some other things, get some things plugged in, and hopefully we'll have this thing cranking. Who knows? Maybe I may even start her up. Okay. So we've been working a bunch on the engine bay and plugging stuff in, and I think it's time to start putting some new parts in there. And I want to start with this. This is a brand new condenser for the AC system that's going on this car. I literally just bought this through orders. I was surprised I even had this. But yeah, here it is. We're going to be installing this in the car. I love that it came black. That's awesome because I don't then have to paint it. So let's get this in, get all the AC lines in there as well. I'm still waiting for my black zinc coated bolts to arrive. But just like, I'll just kind of sit that in there. Look at that, so good. All right, so let's get all this stuff ready, get it in there. I'm gonna keep obviously working away and plugging everything in that we can. But yeah, this is gonna be a process for sure. So here is where I'm ending tonight. I spent so much time just going over a bunch of little things in the engine bay. I know it doesn't look like much and the car is in the air. That's because I've got it up there to put away so that Chris's cars can come in here. I just finished cleaning everything up, and I managed to kind of, I guess, restore this tank canister here for the aircon. I pretty much had to like sand it all back and repaint it, and then got everything ready for this, to only find that I couldn't install it because during the whole cleanup that Chris did, a bunch of my stuff's either been thrown out or gone missing, or is in these boxes and stuff all the way up there, and all the little rubber mounts for the condenser are all missing. So I need to probably just buy some new, so I can't mount that in right now. And then everything else I wanted to get in the car is just waiting for stuff, or I mean, you know, I just don't want to get too deep into it right now when it's already super late and I just smashed my head on that tire. So yeah, I'm just gonna call it quits for tonight, go to bed and get up early again and come to the shop. But things are looking really, really good. I'm so glad that we decided to keep AC. I think that's gonna make this build even better. We've got a bunch of stuff happening. We've got some knuckles coming this week, and we've got a big surprise hopefully coming by the end of this week that's going to change the entire build and results. It's going to be very, very cool. But for now, this is where the Miata is. Let's get to tomorrow. It is now the next day and we are back at the shop. I've currently just finished pulling all the cars out. We're lowering the Miata. We've got some cool stuff that just arrived that I'm super pumped about, but it's so little, it's like, I don't know, it's just the thing that's gonna make this car even better. It's always the little things, guys. I always tell you that. It's always the little things that count the most in life. And here is a perfect example of that. That looks so good. This is what I'm referring to. All my black zinc-coated M6 10mm bolts arrived today. We got some short stubby guys, and then we got these, well, you can see, hang on. The long ones too. So this is like a black zinc coated bolt. So I'm really pumped because then we can go through and replace all these little ones that I cleaned that then started rusting like right away. So we can go through and quickly zip those out and switch those ones in. But today, my goal is I want this thing cranking. Now, I was so glad I didn't do it yesterday because last night before I left, I realized I still hadn't put the oil pressure sensor in. So I put that in last night before I left. I have the alternator all hooked up. We need to hook up obviously the starter motor. And then I can put some engine oil in this thing and get it to crank over. Now, right now I don't have the plugs installed as well. So that way I want to do a compression check right off the bat just to make sure that everything's all good and we're not like, you know, zero compression and something's wrong with the build or anything like that, because then that would suck trying to diagnose that and not even check it first to begin with. So we're going to be checking for that. We're going to obviously make sure we've got oil pressure as well, which is why I put the pressure sensor in, because we want to be able to see that on the dash as having pressure. So anyways, that aside, let's get to it. It's been super handy that this 1.6 engine has been here, because I've been able to look at it and cross-reference where wiring runs and stuff like that. Like this wire here, I wanted to make sure that this was definitely the one for the oil pressure sensor, and it matches up on my car. So now I know how and where to run that wire, and just all those little things like that, and figuring out where everything goes is super easy when you've got like an example like that there. Obviously Chris has a lot of Miatas and stuff like that, and he works on Miatas a lot, but to expect him to know every single thing about where every wire goes on here is probably a little bit unrealistic. I really hate that I'm having to do this, but I just want to quickly address some comments that have been coming through on my videos and Chris's for the last couple days, just to get rid of any rumors or drama whatsoever. I always want my channel to be a nice, safe place, and I would really appreciate it if some of you guys that are in the comment section that are super negative or just saying unnecessary things relating to drama and stuff and trying to stir stuff up, just chill, guys. Like, you just don't need to do that. And I think you guys are reading into things a little bit too much, like, you know, crazy ex-girlfriend level, maybe too much. But that aside, me and Chris, our friendship, our relationship is totally fine. The reason why you're not seeing us in each other's videos right now is because I'm waking up early in the day. Like, I'm getting to the workshop at around 9 and, you know, going to bed at a decent time. Chris is still on his schedule, which means he wakes up normally around 1:32 p.m. and doesn't go to bed till 5 or 6 a.m. So that's just why we haven't been in each other's videos, if that makes sense. Now, another thing a lot of people were talking about is the other day cleaning up the workshop. I feel like I shouldn't have to address this once again, but I was here from 4:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. helping. I did have to film my video on the site as well as everything else that was going on, but I did help out. And when that was all happening was when Chris was doing a whole bunch of runarounds and buying a bunch of stuff from Home Depot. So I hope that clarifies everything for you guys. And let's just leave it at that. So I just quickly switched out these bolts to the zinc black coated ones. Look how good they look compared to what they look like before, all rusted and gross like that. I switched out one up here as well, and you can see there, like, look how much better that looks compared to what that is down there. So we're going through and switching all of those out in a little bit, and this thing's just gonna look so much better. So I just finished installing a fresh oil filter down in there. Now it's time to give this thing her first oil. Oh yeah, look at that liquid gold. Oh, this is exciting. So we are going to attempt to crank the engine. Now, like I said, no spark plugs in the engine. There's a bunch of things still missing. I just want to get this thing cranking to get some oil pressure built up. That way I can kind of check for leaks, make sure everything's all good, as well as it's just a good thing to do while we can, to just get some more oil like pumping through the engine and everything. So, ooh, it cranks, boys. Almost sounds like a rotary when it doesn't have spark plugs. Everything sounds really good too from here. And it doesn't sound like anything's hitting or there's any problems. We obviously want to let the starter motor like cool down every now and then. So what I'm seeing is I want to see something kind of register here for oil pressure, and that's just a good sign that oil's getting around. Oh no, I hear something leaking and leaking bad. Uh-oh. We made a big mess. That's a lot of oil. Of course, Sam. You idiot. You absolute idiot. The turbo oil feed. Oh, I just did the biggest... What is wrong with me? How did I forget about that? All right, I'll clean that up and I'll hook the oil feed up and put it in the drain. That's hilarious, but that's also a really good sign because it is building oil pressure. Very, very, very good sign. Oh man, that's at least probably a quart of oil on the ground now. And yeah, we need the brake cleaner for sure. It sprayed in there a fair bit. Luckily, we caught it when we did. And this is another reason why we do all these kind of checks and stuff like that. So there you go, let me go get that turbo oil feed and put that back into the drain. So just cleaned up a quart of oil off the floor. Got my oil feed line on, going into a funnel into the drain for now. So we can actually see the oil coming out of there when it's building up pressure. But let's now jump back into the Miata and start cranking this thing again. I feel kind of silly for forgetting that, but it's all good, all part of it, and at least we found out that there was a leak. Oh yeah, I can see oil coming out of it. The battery's definitely a bit saddening. We've been cranking it for so long, but you can see oil coming out of the feed line, which means this thing's building pressure, which is great. Let me zoom in there so you can see that. So ready? Look at that. And this is important. This is all part of the process of getting this thing going. So here is where I'm gonna leave today. I've achieved my goal for this video, which was to get this thing cranking and building oil pressure. I'm very optimistic and hoping that by the next video we'll have this thing actually started, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done between then, and I'd rather take my time than rush things. So definitely in the next 1 to 2 videos we'll have this thing cranking and running, but there is a lot to get done and not much time left. So we're definitely on the crunch time, lots of work to get done, and I've actually now got to go head to a place to get some Miata parts to get this thing sorted out so that we do have a high chance of getting this thing running today. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know my videos at the moment are kind of all over the place, but today I'm going to be able to hit the reset button and make sure that I am only filming 1 video a day, unless there's like a special occasion that happens in the same day and we do 2. But for now, we are done with the Miata. Don't forget to get your Miata entries. Head to sammit.net/shop. Grab as much merch as you can. Every 500 yen spent is 1 entry. All information is on the website. Go check it out. And this could be yours. Seriously, I cannot wait to see the results of this thing. Take it for a test drift. We got Knuckles coming this week. It's gonna be very, very cool. So smash that like button, write us a comment, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's video. Peace out, guys. Ciao, mata.